Hey, it's a beautiful good morning from Panuka Farm. This is Mr. Panuka, and today we just want to show you some of our younger sweet pepper crops. But two greenhouses that we transplanted on the 13th of November 2020, and we've actually given you some updates on this from the time we're trading, and this is how the crop now looks. This variety is called Red Jet, bred by Rikes One and supplies to us by Holland Green Tech Zambia. Okay, so let's just take a look at how the crop is doing. It's just about under 80 days, and so far we're actually loving the general outlook. So this is the first greenhouse. After this one, we'll be able to show you the other greenhouse, which were actually transplanted on the same day with this one. So you can actually see that underneath here, we have an avalanche of fruits doing quite well. And one of the notable things that we've actually seen compared with the other varieties that we have in the other greenhouses is the speed at which it begins to turn color. Compared to Duke, the one that is from Stackers, we actually see quite a notable difference that Red Jet turns color much quicker. But of course, Duke also has its own advantages in that it's got much thicker fruits and perhaps slightly longer shelf life. Okay, but Red Jet, from a commercial perspective, you actually see when it turns color quicker, then that certainly means you get to the market much faster. Okay, so this is how this crop is doing, and generally we're quite happy with the way it's coming up. You can actually see the size of fruits, very good. With this crop, we've actually adopted the 3-stem system as opposed to a 2-stem system, and one of the objectives is to try and reduce the fruit size. I think we've partially achieved that because if you compare with the fruits that we have from the bigger crop, you actually see that these are a bit more sizable and not too blocky, but generally very good crop. And I'm sure you can actually pick some of the attributes from this greenhouse. Clean, all trellised up. Of course, this is the greenhouse where we took a bit longer to trellis, so there were a few casualties, but I think along the way the damage has been repaired. Okay, so that's how the fruits look like. You can actually see down here that there's an avalanche of fruits. It looks a bit dwarfish, but very productive. Okay, so which is quite encouraging. See that? So a lot of fruits underneath here. So what we look forward to is to having now the other clusters coming up, because that's quite critical. What you don't want is to have this flash of very good fruits once, and then the crop fails to replicate itself with the second tranche or cluster of fruits. Okay, so let's get to the other greenhouse, which was transplanted at the same date with this one, so that you see how the other greenhouse is also doing. So welcome to greenhouse number 1. So again, this is another greenhouse which was transplanted at the same time with GH4, which we just showed you. What you actually notice is that this one is slightly much taller, and the general outlook is much better than the other greenhouse. But they were actually transplanted the same day, same variety. But I think for this greenhouse, the seedlings were slightly much taller, and we've actually seen that the crop is slightly looking much better. But generally, same variety and doing quite well as well. So we have quite a lot of fruits underneath here. But like I indicated, we're actually quite keen to see other clusters coming up, and we can actually see there's a few, fruits that are already emerging here. You can actually see these flowers. So we just need to make sure that there's no abortion, of these fruits, because then that assures us that we'll have another, cluster of these lovely fruits coming up. Pepper is quite a very tricky crop. Like we've indicated before, you can actually have one flash of very good fruits and then kind of goes in hibernation, and you've got to start cranking again, for you to have the second flash of fruits. Okay, so it's the size of fruits that we have here. There we go. So this is our newest, tranche of greenhouses, which are meant to take over from the older, greenhouses. By the way, the older greenhouses are still quite productive, so they're still with us. But in the quest for consistency, we just have to make sure that we transplant. Apparently, even these two greenhouses that we're showing you now, actually, we've already planned for succession. We just recently transplanted one backup, greenhouse of red jet to just make sure that there's consistent, supply. So I don't know whether we managed to reduce the size of the fruits, but look at how they appear. But yeah, there's a marginal, decrease in the size of fruits given this three-stem, system that we've adopted. Okay, so we'll see how the market responds to this. And of course, we have these sticky traps that helps us in terms of pest management. Much as we're not 100%, organic, but we do try to use integrated pest management, approaches so that it reduces on the, application of synthetic, pesticides. So these are biological, pest management systems. You can actually read right there. So quite a number of pests and thrifts do get caught up in these, sticky traps, and that largely, helps in reducing the onslaught of pests in these greenhouses. Okay. All right, folks. So I hope this gives you quite a very thorough, update on these two greenhouses. So like we indicated, the variety is called Red Jet, bred by Rigs One and supplied to us by Holland Green Tech Zambia. So in case you want to get hold of this, reach out to them on their Facebook page. I think their contacts are there. All right, folks. So have a lovely one. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bye-bye.